Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to the Goosebumps game. So we found the car wreck that was kind of shown as the first cutscene, where at the beginning of the game they were showing a lot of text and not requiring us to click forward, so it was moving very fast. And we went into the back of the car wreck and stole these 3 items. So we have a hat. I suppose we should look at everything. Snazzy top hat, you can see a magician wearing it during this act. It's the same response as what they look like when we were looking at them in the car. It's what I've always imagined a shrunken head would look like, all of skin, eyes, and a mouth sewn shut. You feel overwhelmed by strange energy just looking at it. Let me see if I can take the top hat now and use it on the shrunken head. You place the hat on the head, but it's too small. Guess there's no stage magic in your future. Alright. So, we can't, I think, get to our house, is the problem. So, we have to find a different way around, which I think involves moving back to the woods. You hurry down back the hill, back into the woods. As now the kids that were standing here are gone. This is the far end of the woods. Just below is your neighborhood. Just below your neighborhood, the creek flows into a huge drain pipe tunnel. So we've now got a bunny. Make a bunny disappear in a hat. Sounds like a logical solution. We've already found that if we see something that is not humanoid, well, if we see anything that's not children, we should probably be a little afraid of it, because we saw a humanoid creature that was a plant-based monster and we had to shoot it in the face with the weed killer. I imagine the same as here, and frankly I guess I should just try to go for all the endings now, because I kind of know that I'm safe. So let's look at the rabbit. Small white rabbit, its fur is unkempt and he seems wary of you. Let's see if we can talk to the rabbit. You kneel down and look at the rabbit's eye. Hey there, little fella. Notice in the lower left corner, this is probably, they're saying that I'm speaking in particular. So this is how the conversations are going to go. We're going to just get name tags and not even face silhouettes. Mazo talks. Says the rabbit, to your surprise. I thought those brutes would never leave. With a flash, the rabbit disappears into the brush. Oh, and see, that kind of sucks. What kind of sucks here too is that if there are missable achievements, you just have to play the game all over again, because there's no load button. There's only save. I guess you'd have to quit back to the menu if you wanted to load. So I guess those other kids were harassing the Amazo bunny, which probably isn't its native form. We're gonna go through this tunnel and hopefully this will get us to our house. You hold your nose and slog through the tunnel, taking care to avoid stepping in the water. You peep through the tunnel, and unnatural darkness closing in around you. Halfway through, you wonder if you'll make it. Alright, so what have we got? Look at the water, you're pretty sure it's water, but it shimmers with a blackness that normal water doesn't have. Look at the pipe. The corrugated metal curves all the way around. The grooves are large. It's hard to get a grip. I don't know why you would have grooves like this. It's probably for strength, I would guess, but this is not what you would have as a drainage pipe. It'd be something more if you were casting cement in it, so that the cement would grip the edges and become one. We've got this hole. Up here in the darkness far in the distance, you hear a sound like the ocean. So you're really just gonna And I just assumed that the phone would have a flashlight app, but apparently this one doesn't. Well, we're trying to just go home. Oh well, now it took some skill. Not only did they have to paint that, they had to do it while bouncing in this slime-covered pipe. See, it almost feels like I'm gonna fall down the hole. So close yet so far. The wash at the far end is the only source of light in the whole tunnel. So maybe you're going up at a slight incline and it's making it more difficult. Let's just go. Still your nerves and push on. I really have no reason to jump down a hole. The wash runs behind many of the houses on your street. You usually find all sorts of weird junk that people have thrown out here. So people are just dumping trash. Here's an old shoe. A shoe just one lies alone in the wash part of you wonders if the owner is still here somewhere. So let's go ahead and take that shoe. Pick out. The sign needs better in your hands than out in the elements. You pick up the shoe. Look in this pool. Water here seems to extend forever. You squint, but you still can't see the bottom of the pool. So I could reach in the pool. Getting down on your knees, you put your arm into the pool of water. It's icy chill, clings to your skin as you reach further down. Water raises past your elbow. Still haven't hit the bottom. You take a deep breath and press on. Reaching down, the water laps up against your shoulder. You reach left and right, but can't feel anything but water. Start to imagine a hand gripping your waist and yanking you down beneath the cold surface. It's almost real, the sensation. Bony fingers wrapping around you, tightening. The pool rushes toward your face. You take a desperate breath and hold it, clenching your eyes shut. Moments later, you realize it's your imagination. You gasp and pull your arm out, assaults but unarmed. You look around to make sure nobody saw that. The coast seems clear. Alright, let's take the wheel. Somebody left the bike wheel. It's a little banged up, but not too bad. It's probably still rolls just fine. Spin it. You secure the hub of the wheel and spin it with one hand. Seems fine. It clicks and everything. This looks like a chimney? Really? That's odd. A chimney? How would even a chimney get here? Yeah, I'm with that. With that. Look at the wash. A steady stream of water flows out of the pipe and across the riverbed of stones and cement. So, kids in these houses like to have water fights in the summer. This wash is actually a great staging area. The cousins used to live just up this hill, and you used it as a shortcut. They moved a few years ago, though. So, doesn't seem like there's anything else really. Ooh, we can search the tree. Almost missed that. Used to hide things in this tree when you were little. In fact, there still might be a jar of marbles. Let's search. Nope, no marbles here. You must have taken them home a long time ago. Though maybe someone else found them. There seems to be a slight affinity for searching trees in this game, so I'm gonna have to be cautious of that. But yeah, I think I've exhausted this way. Just across the wash lies your street. You'll be home in no minutes. So when we move this way, we should be on the other side of the car wreck. You hop across the rocks to the far end and stroll into your neighborhood. Ooh, and now we've got a creepy dog barking in your face. What the heck? You take several large gasps and try to calm down. The dog attacked as soon as you enter the neighborhood. Thank goodness it's on a leash. Poodle. Let's look before we do anything. Look at the woman. The woman doesn't look familiar. Maybe she's new in town. She's dressed extremely formally for somebody walking her dog. Seems like it's a vampire dog, which would be certainly in line with the Goosebumps stories of having a half silly, half traditional monster story. Let's look at the angry dog. This is a dog that tried to eat your face. She's a poodle and you wondered if being psychotic is common in the breed. I think it kind of is. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and talk to the woman. Nervously stammering hello into the room and returns a disinterested eye in your direction. Sorry about the dog. She looks like she to have given you quite the fright. Okay, this is an interesting point-and-click way of having you ask questions. Ask about the woman. Oh, hey, that's okay. I'm Rydo. What's your name? Forrester. Mr. Forrester. I guess it's not Forrester. It's just Forrester. That's then an uncomfortable silence. This town of yours is very quiet. What a shame if something were to startle it awake. Let's go down the path of just having a normal conversation. Oh, I was gonna say I haven't seen you around the neighborhood before. After you ask your question, the woman looks you up and down and not sure what she could be judging you for. Fifi and I simply have a look around, or simply having a look around, getting the lay of the land. Some friends of ours came to the area very recently. We want to know if it's a good place to put down roots. The dog's constant tugging has worn away the woman's patience, and she sighs. We must be going. Perhaps we'll see you around very soon. So, I assume that this was a tutorial to have conversations with people in the small instances where we're going to have conversations with people. My house is this burnt out creepy house. Really? And the neighbor's house is the pretty one. Like, seriously, am I the creepy R.L. Stine character? Is that the twist? 4 houses share a mailbox post, including yours. Well then, let's open the mailboxes. You open your mailbox, hoping there's something in it for you. Alright. Well, look at the letter. It's a letter, but it's addressed to someone you've never heard of. It must be a past resident. And coupons. So a sheet of coupons for the local dairy freeze. You make a note to go there this week. Alright, so take the coupons. And theoretically, you're supposed to write not at this address, return to sender on letters not addressed to you at your house. It's the best thing to do. Just so you don't end up getting tons and tons of other people's mail. But I guess in this game we're going to end up doing this. You take the letter out of the mailbox. And you can't do anything else. So we just click on the side to shut the mailbox. The game really didn't tell me that. So now we've got like 2 collections of items, and each collection holds 10 items. So that's quite a lot. Let's look at the neighbors. They're definitely on the right street. You're positive this is your neighbor's house. The girl who lived here used to babysit you. Look at the sky. The dark, foreboding clouds aren't doing the whole to make your neighborhood feel welcome and familiar. And we could go back to the wash, or we're going to enormous 2-story mansion looms over the rest of the neighborhood. Normally it would be pretty awesome, but I'm sitting where you normally, but it's sitting where your normal boring house is supposed to be. Oh, so you're just not going to move further down the street and stand in front of what used to be your house. The large house reaches up towards the ominous sky. Its twisted windows portals to madness. This is your address, but it's definitely not your home. The home you left this morning. That's interesting, certainly. Let's see. These seem like the same rickety porch stairs you've always had, but they were, when attached to this particular house, they seem more sinister. Alright. You swore this tree had leaves yesterday. But if you climb this tree, you reach up to get a nice grip on the branches and place one foot against the truck. You push upwards but slide right back down. The bark is entirely slick. So no climbing to get into the house. The skin crawl is just standing here on the porch. You hope the neighbors haven't noticed that your house turned into a macabre mystery mansion overnight. Really, really big words here, certainly for a kid's story. Like, I get it, but when you have the level of dialogue like that, and this item as a dictionary is not really usable, like, you can't use the dictionary on the words, and by default, and you can't like hover over big words. So yeah, like even off the top of my head, I kind of know the general definition of macabre, but if you wanted what the exact explanation that would be in an encyclopedia or dictionary would be, I have no clue. Like, I don't know what the exact words would be. Door is twice as big and easily 3 times as ornate as it should be. Wonder if your house key still works. Let's see. Open. Struggle with the knob, but it's not budging. Might as well try your house key. So they're being... Your house key's around back. You should try that before giving up completely. Alright, so the game is being rather... actually rather helpful. This is your street, but things don't look quite how you left it. For example, there's an enormous creepy mansion where your house should be. Maybe it's just the ordeal at school, or the weird weather playing you tricks on your imagination. It's gotta be your house, right? So we've gotta go to the backyard. You can reach the backyard through the side entrance, assuming it's still your backyard. So we have to do that. Creep along the side of the fence into your backyard. In spite of the weirdness in your neighborhood, your backyard provides a welcome retreat. A peaceful, quiet, blankets the enclosure. Look at the grill. Just a grill. Get out of here. This is the Charmeister Elite Ultimate Grilling System. Look in this hole. Crouch down, lean your head under the porch for a better look. Oh, it's a can. I thought it was going to be a creature for sure. Speed up, hold can. No one would think to look here for a spare key. Ah. Pick up the cola can, shake it, and listen for the spare key clanks around inside. After a moment, it falls out. Look at the key. The spare key into your house. You hope that it works. Take the spare key. Back out of the hole and stand up. Take these toys. You don't play in the sandbox anymore, and that is not your truck. Are kids coming in here and using your sandbox? Interesting. You dumped the trunk into your bag with the rest of your stuff. Like, apparently I couldn't hold my school books, but I can hold this book, a shoe, a shrunken head, a bottle of weed killer, and this is really just the beginning of all the junk that I imagine is going to end up in this inventory. Actually, I need this spade. The mom's standard gardening spade, great for planting bulbs or digging up weeds. Like, that means I can go back to the creepy tree and dig that up, brush the dirt off, and tuck the spade and do your things. And then we have a toy dinosaur, which looks like a Godzilla to me. Tiny T-Rex is ferocious looking. Who's been playing dinosaurs back, eh? Take. You slip the dinosaur toy in your pack, it might be useful later. Search. Push your hands to the door and around. It's cool to touch, but you don't find anything of interest. Must have played in the sandbox a lot as a kid, but you can't remember that far back. Sand's turned hard and chunky from disuse. Tire swing. The good old tire swing. You got a lot of memories tied up in this wheel of fun. See, I'm wondering if this is a story where you are not who you think you are, but that wouldn't make a lot of sense because you'd already seen some kids and they called you out by name, and so that wouldn't make a lot of sense. If this was, say, a neighborhood that, yes, you grew up in, but you were here 50, 60 years ago, and the whole new family has moved in, and that's why the house is so decrepit. Let's go and swing. You gladly run up and jump into the tire. It flies forward, and you lean back. As you close your eyes, you can't help but shouting "wee." A moment passes, and you reluctantly lower yourself to the ground. The hold, the swing, until it stops moving and step away. Life's so much more complicated now. And we can't do anything with the tree. You and Chad used to compete at climbing this tree until that one time Mom found him and demanded he get down immediately. He broke his arm in the fall. Okay, so your brother Chad broke his arm. We can look at the sky, but it seems like the sky responses are gonna be pretty generic. You swear you saw lightning a minute ago. You better get inside before the weather gets any worse. Alright. Look, the door leads into the laundry room / mudroom of your house. Open. Door should lead right into the laundry room, but it's locked. Unfortunately, the door takes a different key than the rest of your house. So, look. If we use this key, that's one thing you always want to do. Your house won't fit there. One thing when moving into a house is you want to always try to get all the keys to work on the same, all the locks to work on the same key. It's a lot easier in modern time and a lot cheaper if you're using quick-set smart keys, which can be easily keyed and rekeyed. Quick-set smart keys aren't particularly super secure and they're easily picked, but for a house key, that's usually fine anyways. If you have a lock that stops a random person deciding in that second from breaking into your house, that's good enough in my opinion. And if the lock is simple enough that anybody with a bobby pin could pick it open, that's probably better for you when you lock yourself out of your house, if you tend to do that, or even the first time you do that. That's it. It's better to have a cheap lock and not hide keys outside your house, like in this instance, than it is to have a good lock and then hide keys outside your house because you lock yourself out and you lose your keys. The worst security at the moment is to use the Bluetooth and technology key things that unlock, not particularly because the technology parts are insecure, because yes, they are insecure, but nobody's really going to spend the time hacking your lock. It's just that they're very expensive and they also have pretty bad locks. Generally speaking, most locks are easily picked. But that's fine. I mean, locks are really just there to stop honest people. Anyone dishonest will kick down your door, and unless you have a steel door with some steel bars as cross beams, it only takes 2 or 3 kicks to kick down the door. 6 to 10 if you have a deadbolt on, or smash a window, something like that. So yeah, that's not really what. Of course, I'm in a rant now about locks for no reason. So I guess that was. Let's use this key on this. You slip your house key into the lock and cross your fingers. You turn the key and the door opens. Maybe it's your house after all. I feel like I might be walking into a death trap, but I also feel like it doesn't matter. Seems like I can just walk forward and potentially die. You pull open the heavy door and enter the house. This is without a doubt not your house. Mom would never let the entry get this dirty. You can smell dust and decay in the air. Alright, first things first. Light switch. Light switch, light switch. Even if there was a light switch, I couldn't see it, so. There's a coat rack. There's a house plant. Let's look at the portraits. Strange portraits hanging on the wall. There's not anyone you recognize. It's totally possible that somebody would have a house with a key that would work in. Like, your house key would work in somebody else's lock too. That happens more often with cars than anything else, is that people will have cars that look exactly the same and are the exact same model and the exact same brand. The only element in the room that belongs in... This is the only element of the room that belongs in your house. Mom loves coat racks for some reasons, even though the company rarely uses them anymore. So yeah, people have certainly unlocked their cars, gotten in, and then realized, wait a minute, this isn't my car. There's a baby seat there. I don't have a child. Let's see. Door stands stoically shut. You feel a strange energy around it and assume it's locked for the time being. Let's see if we can open it.
Come on.
So we can't go here.
Please?
We're getting actually some voice acting. Hey, you know what we should do? We should call our mom. Let's call our mom. You dial your mom's number, it rings twice, 3 or 4 times, and a recording picks up. The voicemail box you've dialed is currently full. It disconnects. Wait a minute, why did my battery go down when I did that too? Let's call her brother. Dial your brother's number. This is the same brother response. So it looks like we're gonna stay isolated, at least for a time being. And this kind of sucks that the battery on your cell phone might get used up by calling people. Or maybe this just goes down to yellow when you first call your mom and your brother. That way you know there's nothing else to do. Well, I suppose it would be smarter if you're trespassing in someone's house to stay on the first floor and not go up the stairs. Plant looks about how you feel, what's going on, where's your family, are they safe? Let's look at this table. Small end table. Looks like a prop from a haunted attraction. Archway. It's dark, but you think you can make out a dining room through the arc doorway. Let's go that way. You're already across the foyer into the dining room. Step in the dining room and spring back, immediately noticing a woman at the table. She eyes you intently like a hawk searching for prey. Okay, so she is sitting at the table. I thought she may be standing through the table, but no, the table ends here. We have placemat, fancy placemat filled with lace, far too upscale for any of your family dinners. Candles are burnt down and used, even though they weren't here this morning. Strips of wax make cool shapes though. Let's see, what else can we click on? We have a hallway. Click on. And we have chairs. The chairs are arranged around the table for easy seating. So we're in an interesting predicament, and we certainly are taking our time too. I don't know if this game is really going to be as short as it would be for most players. I tend to take my time and try to exhaust and squeeze every drop of entertainment I can out of a game. And by clicking on every single thing and reading every bit of dialogue, that this is probably taking a lot longer than if you were just to try and speedrun this game and just do like pick up the shovel, use the shovel on the hole, and just do the necessary actions. Anyways, it's been another 30 minutes. That's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below in the description box. And if you want to support me even further, I ask people to friend me on Steam and gift me a game. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.